up in Brainerd, Minnesota. Welcoming all my YouTube subscribers, and if you're a first-time viewer, hope you enjoy this. This is part 3 of a 3-part series that I'm doing on growing your own tobacco. In part 1, I explained how to germinate your seeds and get them going. Part 2, I told you how to plant them and how to maintain them, take off the suckers, do the topping, save your seeds, and other things. Now we're ready to harvest and cure and dry your tobacco and smoke it. Okay? Here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do, now we're ready to harvest our tobacco. Is grown pretty tall. We've topped off and took off the flower heads off the ones that we want to grow, and we've kept 2 or 3 or how many ever seeds you want of the biggest, nicest plants. You want to let them go to seed. What you want to do is just leave them until the seed pods will turn a dark brown. You can collect, break them off, and store them. You can even store them right in the seed pod, which I do. And then when you want the seeds, you can just break them open and tons of little seeds will come out. Matter of fact, you'll get about 100 seed pods per plant, and each seed pod can contain up to 1,000 seeds. So, I mean, we're talking a lot. So you can have 100,000 seeds off one plant. Next, okay, what we want to do is, I'm going to show you some pictures here. You want to wait till your bottom leaves. This is how your plant is going to mature and how you're going to harvest it in a series. You're going to start with the bottom leaves first. They're going to turn first a speckled yellow, greenish, and the light greenish, and then more of a yellow. You want to get it a pretty light pale yellow. As a matter of fact, the better yellow that you let it get before you harvest them, the better it'll dry. It won't dry green, it'll dry to a nice, real pretty color, okay? So harvest those bottom leaves. It might be the bottom 2 or 3 leaves of each plant. You're going to go through, you'll be able to tell, looking at these pictures, when these leaves are pretty yellow. You're going to harvest those. You're going to break off the bottom 2 or 3 leaves that are yellow on the plants. Okay, what you want to do then, okay, you're going to hang these, okay? And you can hang them in a old barn, you can hang them in a garage, you can hang them in any area where it would get a little, dark. You can put it in a shed or anything like that, or on the back of a house. I wouldn't hang them right in the direct sunlight, but hang it in a place, and especially if it's got a little air, okay? The way I gather these together when I harvest these leaves, grab about 4 or 5 these leaves. The stems on these leaves are going to be huge. Some are almost going to be as big as around a celery. So you're going to grab about 4 or 5 leaves together, bunch them in your right hand, and you're going to go down and you're going to get a bag of some good heavy-duty rubber bands. And this is what I've found works better than any way of hanging tobacco, because the rubber bands, you're going to take and you're going to hold them 4 or 5 stems, and you're going to wrap them rubber bands around them stems so they're bundled together. What happens is, as the tobacco dries, it's going to shrink, and the nice thing about the rubber bands, it goes right with it, shrinks right down. Once you've got these bunches, go along, wrap 4 or 5 leaves together, throw them down. Go along, grab 4 or 5 more leaves off the next plants, bunch them together, wrap them up tight with the rubber band, throw them down. When you get them all done, go ahead and throw them in a old banana box or any box or anything, and carry them to wherever you're going to hang them. Now to hang them, I took a bill, you can see in here, this picture of where my shed is, and you can do it. You can even hang up a clothesline type thing and hang a black plaster or plastic tarp or anything. Make your own thing out of it, and use one line to hold it, like a giant tent, and the other line underneath it to hang your tobacco on. Just about anything will work like that. And you can go underneath or below on the show more button, click below the video, and I'll have a link to How to Grow Tobacco forum website. You can go there, and they've got in-depth articles on drying the tobacco and everything like that. But it's pretty simple. You just want a place where you get some movement of air, where it's humid, it's hot, and it slowly dries, okay? What you want to do then is, after you've got all these bunched up, you carry them where you're going to hang them, just spread the couple, 2 or 3 of the leaves apart and hang it right over the rope by string rope back and forth, and then it just hangs on there. It's real easy. After it's hung there, 2, 3 weeks, it's going to get drier, the stems are going to go together and stuff like that. You'll be able to tell when the leaves are getting pretty dry. You can leave it there all winter. You can just leave it wherever you've got until you're ready to use it. You can take it down, and what you do is you can strip the tobacco. The whole idea is, if you're going to store it after a while, you take the tobacco, hold it in one hand, one leaf, and you hold the stem. And if you run your hand down, you can strip that leaf right off the stem and throw the stem away. Especially if you're going to store it that way, your chance of mold, getting any mold or anything is a lot less if you get it off that stem, because that stem maintains a lot of moisture. There's many ways to cure tobacco. Okay, you're going to let it dry. I let it cure naturally. Usually, I mean, you're going to find some leaves that fell off the thing that underneath this. Virginia gold is so mild that you can shred it up, and I'll show that in a little bit. Here's some ways of shredding the tobacco. I happened to luck out because I had a friend that I've been on a tobacco farm that built me a tobacco shredder, homemade one. You can use a pasta shredder. I'll show a video on that. That works pretty great. You can cut it with the scissors. Some people take it and put it in a food processor and chop up the leaves that way. I don't really like that, because if you look at your tobacco you buy, or regular cigarettes, you want strands rather than chunks, because then your fire won't fall off. When you light a cigarette, it won't fall off. Strands hold the fire. You want to come up with long, skinny strands. Some people say a paper shredder. Well, it's a little too thick. So use your ingenuity. There is some different shredders available. You can go online and check. Do a search on YouTube. Do a search on Google. And I'll be posting something more in depth than that later if I can come up with some other. This pasta shredder video is pretty impressive. It does a real nice job. And there is some other shredders available around there if you can do some searching. But and as far as curing the tobacco, okay, if mine hangs 6 months or something, I mean, I'm smoking it, okay? You can even smoke it before that. Once it's dry, you will be able to tell when the leaves they're not brittle, but what they call encased. It'll just be again. You can work with it, but you can peel it off the stem. You'll be able to. Sometimes some people might want to roll it up and take a scissors and cut little strands. I did that for the first year. It worked okay. And there's other ways to do it. Some people say, okay, I want to make a cigar. Go on howtogrowtobacco.com, and those guys, I don't make cigars, but I mean, there's guys that want to learn all that. There's a little more trip. I just want to show you how to harvest it, the best time to do it. After you've harvested it now, and you went through, it might be another week or so, and those other leaves are going to start getting yellow and yellow. Start going through and take another series and go through. It's an ongoing process. As the bottom leaves and as it starts going up the plant, they're going to mature, turn yellow, a limpy yellowish color. Take them off, bunch them together, spread them, hang them on, and let them dry, okay? Might even put a box fan in there if they're in an enclosed area and it's hot. I had a shed and I kept them in, and I wanted to keep the humidity up because you don't want them to dry green. So I would even put a little humidifier in there. But I even did mine in my greenhouse last year and it worked great, real great in the greenhouse, because it was humid. If I wanted a little more humid, you want it humid because you don't want the leaves to dry too fast that they have a chance to fully turn that golden yellow or brownish color. Like I said, the whole trick is to wait for the leaves to turn That way you don't have the chance of it turning green. Now there's different ways to cure tobacco. Some guys take it and after they've hung it up and it's got limp and it's kind of cured a little bit, they'll take it and we're doing what's called a color cure first. When you first hang it, you're waiting for the color to any green to dissipate from it. You're waiting for it to turn that yellowish color, a light brownish color. And then some guys will take an old refrigerator, and here's kind of a unique idea. They'll take a crock pot and put it in a full refrigerator and fill it up with water, and they'll do this a couple times a day. And they'll get some of those cloth bags like a Walmart, you get your groceries and you buy them for 50 cents, and they'll put their tobacco in there, take it off the stems, put it in there, and if you're speeding up the process of curing of just that it'll get about 120, 130 degrees in there, and twice a day you open up the door, fill the crock pot with water, just let it steam in there, and take the bag off once or twice a week. Dump out all the tobacco, shake it up, put it back in the bags, hang it in there. It makes it ferment faster and break down, and you can tell when your tobacco is ready, when it's really getting great, because you'll be able to take up some leaves and hold them to your nose and smell it, and you'll get a sweet smell, nice sweet smell. But that's it. That's pretty much it on the rest. Like I said, you follow up and go underneath the video, and I'll have links to, if this is the first time you've seen this video, or seen any of my tobacco videos, I'll have links to how to germinate, how to grow it, and then, of course, this final one, how to harvest it and cure it. But there's some different methods. Me, I take it, I hang it, I take it down when it's set the color and it's got a nice cool brown, and I wait till it's a little humid so I can still work with it. If it gets brittle on you, very brittle, here's what I do. Take it off gently off the string or whatever you've got it hanging on, put it in a non-scented garbage bag, and get a mist bottle, spray it good, close up the bag and put a rubber band on it, and if it sets overnight, it'll hydrate, and then you can work with the leaves, you can take it off the stems, then I'll lay out the leaves until they get just enough dry. You can work with them, but they're not real wet, but they're not dry, and cut them up and then smoke them. You'll be amazed how good this tobacco tastes. You're going to really enjoy it. If you got any questions, go ahead and post some comments underneath, or you can go to my YouTube. It'll say send message. You can click on that button and send me a message. I'd be glad to help you in any way I can. But that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks everybody for subscribing to my channel. Thanks for a lot of the people that took the offer to get the tobacco seeds. You're going to have a blast. There's lots to learn. Not real hard, but saving a ton of money on tobacco and knowing you grew your own and you knew there's no chemicals in it, there's a great satisfaction in that. Anyway, this is Larry up in Brainerd, Minnesota. Ciao.